What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, November 19th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 21 minutes past midnight here in the eastern United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe. But before I get into that, I just want to share something strange that's been going on tonight. In Morris County, New Jersey, people have seen up to 5 unidentified large drones flying for over 2 hours near the Picatinny Arsenal. Apparently, a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter has been following these unidentified drones, and here we have a picture of some of them. If you look closely, you can see these 4 white orbs in the sky above Morris County, New Jersey tonight. Absolutely insane. And no, those are not stars because there's a lot of light pollution in New Jersey. This is the very urbanized part of New Jersey close to New York City, so you can't see any stars with your naked eye, let alone a camera. So these are some kind of drones here in the skies over New Jersey near the Picatinny Arsenal. U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter has been deployed, and also local law enforcement is monitoring. I will be monitoring the situation, and I will update you guys with any new information that I get as it comes in. We have some very, very concerning information coming in from Russia. This was posted by Sputnik News. Now, Sputnik is a Russian government news outlet, and they just posted these pictures to Twitter. These are fallout shelters that are being mass produced in Russia, okay? And the caption here reads, "Russia has begun mass producing mobile shelters. The construction offers protection, among other things, from the light radiation of a nuclear explosion and radioactive contamination of the area. There are 2 blocks in the basic configuration. One is designed for technical use and the other for sheltering up to 54 people, with additional modules bearing capacity for another 150. Okay, so these are basically like shipping containers, they look like. They look like remade shipping containers, those long containers that go onto ships that go to other countries. Well, they retrofitted them into fallout shelters with blast doors. So, guys, this is extremely concerning, okay? Russia is mass producing fallout shelters. They're called Cub-M, okay? Cub-M. Interestingly, Russia has the Club-K missile system, which are missiles that can be fired from containers just like these. And now they have the Cub-M fallout shelters. Guys, this is a huge sign that Russia is preparing for nuclear war. If you think I'm fear-mongering, that's fine. I don't care. But to me, this is just clear as day, okay? Why would you mass produce these fallout shelters that are specifically designed to protect from nuclear explosions and radioactive contaminations if you're not expecting something? Okay, maybe Putin is going to nuke Kursk, just like Prigozhin said. You remember shortly before Prigozhin died and before his uprising, he said that he thought that Putin would be crazy enough to nuke Russia because he didn't have the balls to nuke Ukraine or other countries or NATO, so he would just nuke Russia. Maybe that's what he's going to do. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're making these shelters, or maybe Russia's just preparing for a nuclear exchange with NATO. Okay, now that the U.S. has green-lighted deep strikes into Russia with ATACMS missiles that have a range of up to 200 miles, and we also heard that France and the U.K. are allowing Ukraine to use the Scalp and Storm Shadow missiles to strike deep into Russia. So this is extremely serious. We heard back in September Putin saying that if this were to happen, it would be the equivalent of the U.S. directly fighting with Russia, okay? And we're now hearing reports tonight that there was some kind of an unknown missile strike at a Russian army arsenal in the Bryansk region of Russia, deep into Russia near the town of Karachev. And if you look at the map, Karachev is like 100 miles from the border with Ukraine. So it's possible that Ukraine has already used the ATACMS to strike deep into Russia. Russia has all kinds of weapons depots, fuel depots, different types of bases, okay, within striking distance that they can hit with these ATACMS. So that's going to cause a lot of problems for Russia. So it's possible that Ukraine has already launched the first strike deep inside of Russian territory tonight in the town of Karachev in the Bryansk region. There is video footage of this. I cannot share it with you, unfortunately, due to YouTube guidelines. And Joseph Borrell, the EU's top diplomat, has confirmed that the U.S. will allow Ukraine to attack up to 300 kilometers inside of Russian territory. Okay, Joseph Borrell confirming the U.S. will allow Ukraine to attack up to 300 kilometers inside of Russian territory. Guys, this is historic. This is absolutely huge, okay? This is probably the biggest story of the last few years, and nobody's talking about it. The mainstream media is not talking about it. Nobody cares about it. People are just focused on Monday Night Football and UFC and Tyson versus Jake Paul, okay? This is extremely serious. We could be going to nuclear war as soon as a couple of days from now. We'll have to wait and see. If this is all not bad enough, today, 2 undersea cables in the Baltic Sea were cut by Russia, one connecting Finland to Germany and one from Lithuania to Sweden. The 1,200 kilometer or 750 mile cable connecting Helsinki to the German port of Rostock stopped working around 0200 GMT on Monday. Finnish state-controlled cybersecurity and telecoms company Cinia said, and a 218-kilometer or 135-mile internet link between Lithuania and Sweden's Gotland Island went out of service at about 0800 GMT on Sunday, according to Lithuania's Telia Lietuva, part of Sweden's Telia company. So, guys, this is clear as day to me. Russia is preparing for war with NATO. NATO is preparing for war with Russia. Russia's mass producing these fallout shelters. And earlier yesterday, we had the breaking news come out that Sweden is passing out survival manuals for World War III to all of their citizens. Okay, and I have a copy of it. I'm going to show you guys exactly what this pamphlet or manual looks like. It's dozens of pages long. This is a World War III survival manual, okay, being passed out to every single household in Sweden. Norway has already done it. Finland has already done it. Lithuania has drawn up plans for mass evacuations. Poland is passing out survival manuals. Latvia is already passing out, or they've already passed out survival manuals, and Poland has already as well. Guys, the writing is on the wall, okay? Whether you choose to believe it or not, it's happening, okay? So 2 undersea cables in the Baltic Sea were cut, and what's very interesting is the one cable from the Gotland Island to Lithuania. Okay, the Gotland Island is a strategically important island in the Baltic Sea, and Russia has wanted to take that island for many, many years now. And a Russian spy ship was escorted out of the Irish Sea after it entered Irish-controlled waters and patrolled an area containing critical energy and internet submarine pipelines and cables, according to The Guardian. Okay, so that is extremely concerning, okay? Germany's federal army is instructing companies on readiness for potential conflict under the secretive 1,000-page operations plan Deutschland. The plan targets critical infrastructure protection, cybersecurity resilience, and civil-military coordination. Firms are urged to develop crisis action plans, train employees, and enhance self-sufficiency with resources like diesel generators. Meetings such as one in Hamburg stressed logistical readiness and workforce training. The Army reportedly anticipates deploying forces to NATO's eastern flank while relying on civilian support for energy, transport, and national defense. So now Germany is instructing companies to prepare for war, okay? Critical infrastructure protection, cyber attack resilience, civilian military coordination, telling companies to develop crisis action plans. Guys, it's happening, whether we want to believe it or not. And Joseph Borrell also said some interesting things today, besides confirming that the U.S. is going to allow Ukraine to strike up to 200 miles into Russia. He also said that Putin doesn't look ready to negotiate, but to escalate the war in order to fulfill his goals. His goals have been clear since the beginning: to conquer, to occupy, and to subjugate Ukraine, a European country, a candidate country to the European Union. He also said the role of China is becoming bigger and bigger. China is today the largest provider of dual-use goods and sensitive items that sustain Russia's military-industrial base. Without North Korea, without Iran, without China, Russia could not support this military effort. We are concerned by reports of production and deliveries of complete weapon systems from these three countries, North Korea, Iran, and China, but in particular North Korea and Iran. It's been 4,000 days since Putin attacked Ukraine for the first time, he said. Maybe our response should have been firmer, stronger since the beginning, since 2014. Now Russia is escalating, and Zelensky visited the front lines in Kupiansk, where intense battles are currently underway, and Russian forces have captured some territory in the Kupiansk region. The Dutch foreign minister welcomed the U.S. decision to allow long-range strikes against Russia. Dutch Foreign Minister Casper Veldkamp praised the decision but regretted that it was leaked to the media, saying, "I would have preferred it to be a surprise for the Russians." And Finland has proposed to NATO to deploy a base of RQ-4 Global Hawk high-altitude reconnaissance drones in the country to gather intelligence along the border with Russia. The drones are currently deployed at the Sigonella base in Italy. Before arriving in Eastern Europe or Northern Europe, they must cross the airspace of almost all of Southern and Central Europe. So very interesting. Finland wants an RQ-4 base in their country. It makes a lot of sense. And the president of the Russian-occupied Abkhazia region of Georgia has resigned amid protests. However, his resignation will only take effect once protesters withdraw and disperse from government property, according to an announcement from the Russian proxy leader's press service. So Abkhazia was once part of Georgia, and it was taken over by Russia, and a puppet government was installed. Now the people there are pissed off because the Russian puppet government wants to allow wealthy Russians and Russian businessmen to buy up large chunks of land in Abkhazia and develop it, and thus pricing out the locals. So the locals stormed the Abkhazian parliament. The president of Abkhazia fled somewhere to Russia, and now he could potentially ask Russia to go in there. This is a very serious situation. Russia is losing their grip on the Caucasus. They already lost their grip on Armenia, and now they're losing their grip on Abkhazia. And we're also hearing of violent clashes in the capital of Georgia, in Tbilisi, between police and anti-government protesters who are mad at the outcome of recent elections where the pro-Russian parliament retained power. And here we have the World War III survival manual that Sweden started passing out this week. Okay, you can see here important information to all residents of Sweden. You can clearly see a soldier here with a rifle actually multiple soldiers, fighter jets, and then like a family sitting down here. Okay, this is very, very ominous. You have a Navy warship there. This brochure is distributed to every household in Sweden on behalf of the Swedish government. The Swedish Civil Contingencies Agency is responsible for the content. The brochure is available to order in Swedish, Easy Swedish, and in English, and may be downloaded digitally in many other languages. It is also available in Swedish Sign Language, audio format, and Braille. For more information, please visit msb.se. So this is crazy, guys. So we have this first page. It says, to all residents of Sweden, we live in uncertain times. Armed conflicts are currently being waged in our corner of the world. Terrorism, cyber attacks, and disinformation campaigns are being used to undermine and influence us. To resist these threats, we must stand united. If Sweden is attacked, everyone must do their part to defend Sweden's independence and our democracy. We build resilience every day together with our loved ones, colleagues, friends, and neighbors. In this brochure, you learn how to prepare for and act in case of crisis or war. You are part of Sweden's overall emergency preparedness. Wow. So they clearly say here, if Sweden is attacked, everyone must do their part to defend Sweden's independence. Okay? And then if you look at the table of contents, it talks about warning systems, heightened state of alert, seeking shelter during an air raid, home preparedness, evacuation, civil defense shelter, psychological defense, digital security, terror attacks, how to stop bleeding, extreme weather, pathogens, all kinds of stuff here, guys. And they first start out with war. Okay, look what it says here. Military threats are increasing. We must be prepared for the worst case scenario, an armed attack on Sweden. War, the ultimate threat to our freedom. Okay, so they name war as the number one threat in this manual. Okay, and tonight we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. We had 3 nuclear war command and control planes up in the air tonight and 1 B-52 nuclear bomber over Louisiana and Arkansas. Very unusual for this many E-6 Mercuries to be airborne this late at night. Okay, so something is definitely going on. And here we have a video of Zelensky in Kupiansk on the front lines. But I'm going to continue to monitor all of these news stories, and I will update you guys tomorrow or later today. I'm sure there's going to be more updates on all these stories, but just get prepared. It looks like NATO and Russia are about to go to war, with the Biden administration approving long-range strikes on Russia with ATACMS missiles. Apparently tonight, the first ATACMS missile was used against an arsenal in the Bryansk region of Russia. And now Russia is mass producing these fallout shelters. So get prepared, guys. Check out my nuclear war survival videos. I made an entire series on how to survive nuclear war. I'm going to leave a link to that in the top right corner. Also, make sure you have a bug out bag, but really you need a fallout shelter. For most people, the best fallout shelter is going to be the basement of your home or the basement of your apartment building, okay? Basements are excellent fallout shelters. If you don't have a basement, you need to find some kind of subterranean or underground structure, like a parking garage, a metro station. Whatever you can find that's underground is going to be the best case scenario. If you can't find anything underground, you can go into high-rise buildings. If you go into the high-rise buildings, you're going to want to be in the middle floors. This way you have equal distance from the fallout radiation on the roof of the building and on the ground. Okay? I've talked about all of this in multiple videos, and I go into greater detail in my nuclear war survival videos, so check them out. Check out my 24/7 live stream. It's on right now. I'm following all of these news events and updating live in the chat. We have some excellent people in the chat, including the moderators who update live in the chat when news comes in. And also check out my Telegram and Twitter. I post all my updates over there. Sometimes YouTube doesn't send out notifications. So if you follow me on Telegram and Twitter, you'll never miss an update. And the links to my Telegram and Twitter are in the description below this video. And until later on, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by Patriot Supply. Guys, Patriot Supply has brought back their discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnYprepper.com. The link is in the description below this video. But they have 3 months of freeze-dried food with a 25-year shelf life, packed into rugged, watertight buckets that you can easily store in a small room for just $700 with free shipping included, and they ship very fast. Also, they're including some freebies. They're going to include a survival Bible, a 424-page survival book, an ultimate preparedness checklist, a natural disaster field guide. They also have a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food gets destroyed in a natural disaster, they will replace it for you with no cost. And also they have a 30-day return policy, no questions asked. So check out Patriot Supply. Use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get 25% off of their 3-month emergency food supply, free shipping included. And the link is in the description below this video.